Professor, you know equipment are just bad, right?
What are you doing in my office?
I'm just casually sorting your planes collection. I've got a custom card idea.
Oh no, not a custom card idea. These are the worst.
Like, I know I said I wouldn't do any more after the last time when I accidentally invented Lot of Troll, but come on, just give me a chance, give me a chance.
All right.
Okay. White creature, enters the battlefield, search your library for an equipment, and put it into your hand.
Okay, so it's an equipment tutor?
Yeah, helping equipment, get a leg up in appropriate formats. But equipments are terrible, right? Like, Argentum Armor is not a good card. So how about you can cheat on the mana cost? It taps, 2 more mana, white and a 1, white and a colorless, put that equipment into play.
That means that any equipment in your hand can be put into play for white and a generic.
Yeah, it's kind of like Demonic Tutor, but only for equipment.
You would have to have this thing cost double white and 5 generic for it to be even remotely acceptable.
No, I was generally going like Demonic Tutor, white and 1, white and 1.
White and 1?
Yeah.
Are you out of your mind?
All right, Mr. Fancy Pants Professor, what would you decide? Off the top of your head, what have you got for me?
All right, Mr. Man, I got one for you. It's a creature, a 1/2, tap, exile target land from a graveyard and create 1 mana of any color.
So it's just a bad land of elves.
It does more though. You tap it for green, exile a creature from any graveyard, gain 2 life. And also, 1 black, tap it, exile an instant or sorcery, and it's going to make target opponent lose 2 life.
For someone who hates planeswalkers so much, you've just described the planeswalker.
It's a creature. It's a 1/2 creature, not a planeswalker.
Commander players will love it. How much mana?
It's for modern, so it only costs 1 mana.
Are you insane?
Okay, 1 green or black. How about that?
What? That doesn't help balance it. That makes it more powerful. R&D would never, ever allow something like that to go to print. Ever.
You're one to talk. Let's hear you actually give me a realistic card that R&D would make, that play design would say A-OK on.
Sure. Artifact.
Artifact.
Activate ability, 2 mana. Sack a creature. Search your library for a creature that costs 1 more than the sacked creature and put it into play. It's evolving. It's in green.
Sounds like Vanifair.
It's an artifact though. It's hated on by Stony Silence, their new oof for Modern Horizons. It's kind of got haste. Vanifair was too slow and not really playable, so...
I guess, so it's going to be a little better than Vanifair, so it's going to cost a little bit more?
Not really. I was thinking 4 mana, same as Vanifair, but one of it's Phyrexian.
Oh sure, just make it Phyrexian. Why don't we put Phyrexian in the activation cost too?
I hadn't thought of that, but now you mention that's a great idea.
No, it's not a great idea. That's a terrible idea. R&D would never okay this. That's outrageous.
What's the worst you could do? Is safe holder elite, sack it, go get a hornet's nest.
The very fact that you think that's the worst you could do with this card speaks to why you should not be designing Magic the Gathering cards. One more chance. Give me a realistic create a card for modern.
Okay, all right, okay. Enchantment, you stick on a creature, the creature gains the ability to tap, create a copy of itself, that sacrifice at end of turn, and that copy has haste. It turns every creature into like it creates a ball lightning version of itself. It's on theme, it's kind of, I guess it's powerful enough for red. Most red effects suck, right? So
That is interesting, but what's its mana cost?
Well, ball lightning's 3 mana, so how about 4? 2 red and 2.
I have no problem with this card whatsoever, do you?
Well, I'm taken aback by the fact that you actually like it, but yeah, it's a red enchantment. They're historically terrible. There's nothing wrong with this card.
There's nothing wrong with this card.
I mean, it's 4 mana, so like, Modern's a turn 3 format, right? So if there was a combo that we can't, for some reason, foresee that could combo with this card, it would just like keep the format in check or give us another turn 4 combo deck, right?
Right, it sounds like this would be a great card for Modern and something that we would never ever want to be without in the Modern format. It does nothing wrong.
It does literally nothing wrong.
It does nothing wrong.
Welcome to another episode of Dies to Removal. I am one of your hosts.
Modern Horizons! Modern Horizons!
I am one of your hosts, Vincent, also known as Pleasant Kenobi.
Core 2020! Core 2020! Chandra! Chandra!
Also known as Pleasant Kenobi on the internet. And with me today, I've got my
Commander 2020! Commander 2020! New Commander decks!
my rather excited co-host.
Gideon Signature Spellbook!
My rather excited co-host.
Kaldheim! You know it's gonna happen!
Will you just stop? Will you just stop?
Will wizards just stop? Welcome, everyone, to Dies to Removal, the Magic the Gathering video podcast where Pleasant Kenobi and myself talk about all things Magic the Gathering, and there's a lot of things about Magic the Gathering that are happening right now, and we're talking about hype.
He's doing this so I can't interrupt him as well. Because I was tempted to interrupt them, but I didn't.
Yes.
Yeah, we're talking about hype today. So much hype. Just perpetual. Constant. I'm sorry, Shivan.
Wow, yes.
I just hyped his ring right out the
Right.
socket. Jeez.
Wow.
He's all right.
Easy. This is an artifact from an ancient era known as the 1990s.
From a far gone plane of Dominaria. Was it
Dominaria.
Dominaria that you were playing?
Wasn't Dominaria just the set? We're talking about perpetual hype here today.
I feel like I haven't played with the cards from Dominaria enough in Modern and Legacy yet, and here we are. We're 2020's on our laps.
Yeah.
We've got the spoilers coming out literally as we're filming this.
They have specifically engineered it so that at the point where hype for the new product is beginning to decline, which is pretty much right after it goes on sale.
I don't even agree with that. They're not even letting the hype reach peak. I think people
Yeah.
haven't even got excited about the new cards from Horizons yet.
Doesn't matter. Horizons pre-released, then it launched, and immediately the Monday following launch weekend, they begin the spoilers for the next set.
Yeah.
That is so tactical.
We had 2020 spoilers before Horizon cards were officially legal in formats.
We do not currently have any spoilers for Commander 2020, but I want to place a bet with you right now. Commander 2020 spoilers begin after pre-release weekend for 2020. So the Monday after pre-release for 2020 is when we hear the Commander 2020.
I want to bet
Spoilers.
against you, but I can't. And it makes me feel a little bit sick.
Yeah.
Like the idea that I need to get back to England, I need to make some more video content, including my normal gameplay stuff and some stuff on 2020.
Oh my God, do you have a YouTube channel?
Yes, I do. Peasant Kenobi at YouTube, youtube.com/Peasant Kenobi. But I need to make some of that content. But before I've even like uploaded the 2020 stuff, there'll be Commander references and Commander mention and an article about the flavour and the theme and even just the deck art, the box art.
Right.
It's constant, perpetual hype season for products that I haven't even played the old ones yet, Brian.
Yeah, I know. Someone tweeted out today that they're actually sensing that content creators in particular are feeling exhausted by all of the constant hype. And I want to talk about that as content creators, but that's a little bit of, we call it belly button gazing because we're talking about ourselves and we love to talk about ourselves. I want to start with the more general sense. Do you think that being in a state of perpetual hype is good or bad for the game? Isn't this a good thing for the game? Sales, people are excited. I mean, the hype is real. People are excited. Somebody pointed out that,
You say that. Like, so last year when we had like the whole Battle Bond, I don't even remember what happened last year because of the hype, right? A, I've got a bad memory, and B, the hype is
okay. Question,
real.
honestly, and I don't know the answer to this. Was Battle Bond last year?
Yeah. I'm saying yeah, but I'm not even confident. I believe it was. Was it? Is it either Battle Bond or Conspiracy? One of the sets didn't do as well as Wizards expected, and they
want
complained.
You starting with Modern Horizons. I want you to work backwards 2 years worth of sets and products from memory. See how far you get before you're wrong.
Game show. I like it.
Yeah,
What's
let's do it. All right, working, and this was not planned. I just thought it up. All right, Vince. What was before Modern Horizons?
War of the Spark.
What was before War of the Spark?
Are we including like the weird like board game set thing and stuff like that?
Not board game sets, but
just sets.
Sets, including supplemental products.
So we had War of the Spark.
War of the Spark.
Then we had allegiances, Ravnica alliances.
Okay.
Whatever the set was called.
Yeah.
Then we had Guilds of Ravnica.
Where was Ultimate Masters? Wasn't that in between Guilds of Ravnica?
Huh. Yeah. Yes, I went to a GP for that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ultimate
well,
Masters,
I've already
you've
failed.
already lost.
I've already
All right, I'm
failed.
going to try taking over. You spot me.
Okay.
Before Ultimate Masters was Guilds of Ravnica.
Yep.
Before Guilds of Ravnica was the Commander Precon, and then preceded by last year's Return of the Core set.
So was Commander Precons already this year just gone?
Commander Precons was last fall.
Right.
We're getting close to it again.
And then we had Magic 19.
Magic 19, Core 19. Prior to that was, also was wrong because I think after Iconic Masters was in there somewhere, right?
That was
No, Masters 25. That was at the beginning of the year.
before Dominaria. That was.
Okay. Battle Bond, Core Set. Oh no, Unstable. No, that was the previous year too.
My point. So as you can see, it's impossible to keep track.
This
of
is our job.
But Wizards of the Coast.
This is our job for a living.
You do like set like product review as well, don't you?
You do
so
set reviews, card reviews,
yeah,
deck
I
text.
do.
It's our job.
I literally have no idea. But
despite it's not just, and I want to be really clear about this, it's not just Vince's incompetence. In addition to that, there is a real thing known as hype fatigue. And I think that there is a disadvantage to people being so bombarded with products for a property they love that they can't even remember what the last 6 months were like.
But you just said, like, surely it's good for sales, right? Because people keep buying stuff, and when you buy things, companies do well, right?
Right.
But do people have, like, limitless wallets? Surely, Wizards literally said that.
Wizards wants to find out what those... Wizards wants to find
Yes,
those limits.
But I can't remember which set it was, because there's so many bloody sets. But one of the sets last year, they said didn't do too well because they didn't give enough time and people didn't have the disposable income to buy into that set because they're too busy buying the standard sets that came out. It was either Battle Bond or Conspiracy 2, one of them, whatever that was.
It might have been... No, Battle Bond did very well, they said. I think it might have been...
Conspiracy 2 then?
Conspiracy 2, they botched the release of. That was 2 years ago then.
Okay, maybe it was then. But they haven't learned from that mistake.
No.
They haven't learned from that mistake, and they just keep bombarding us with sets. Some of those sets, do you know how they fixed Modern Horizons, Brian? Do you know how they fixed it?
How?
Well, there's no RRP anymore, is there? But allow the packs to be more expensive, and therefore, I guess that'll stop people from buying too many, and they can buy some more of Core Set 2020. And why are they not called M20 anymore? Didn't they used to be called M something?
I think it is called M20.
In the icon, but they're called Core.
Core 20.
I really find it hard to keep up.
I do find it hard to keep up. Core sets are tricky. Core sets, they got rid of them for a reason.
Are you glad they're back?
I am glad they're back. They're not doing them how I would want them to do. That's a different discussion. And of course, if I were to say how I wanted them to do it, probably people would yell at me in the comments and say, unrealistic. He can't honestly expect there to be that many reprints in a core set. That's too complicated.
Every core set booster must come with a Golden Tarn and a Surgical Extraction in the pack, right?
What I would like is I want you to take Ultimate Masters. I want you to cross out the word Ultimate Masters. I want you to write core set. No, that's not true. That's not true. I'm joking. But
so
I would like more reprints than...
Yeah, sure. But I think core sets are doing well for this. We haven't really talked about it. I think last core set having Scape Shift and like Crucible of Worlds, cards that have had barely any impact in Standard and may never have any impact in Standard that needed reprints drastically. They are happening.
I want more. It's good. Listen, I'm not
at
saying
what
it's
point
bad.
would you say it's not, greed is good and everything, Brian, but like at what point would be too much?
Well,
all 5 fetches.
Well, I don't think we should reprint fetches. I think fetches might be, a mistake. Maybe we don't want to ever have fetches in Standard again. But then how are we going to reprint them?
You can't put them through Standard. And also there's no modern reprint set now either.
Let me put it this way. If the amount of reprints in a core set of needed reprints is at out of 256 cards, 4 to 6, I would like to see it at 20.
Okay. That's fair, I think. I mean, I have to look at all the most expensive cards that are available in like modern.
They spoiled the ley lines. They spoiled.
So exactly. So M20.
I want a little bit more. I'm not gonna say like I wanted to be. Okay, come on. But I am gonna say, what we're doing is good. I would have liked to see actually maybe 2 to 3 times more of it. I like the idea of Scape Shift. This is just going to be our jank card for Standard and Draft, but it's a needed reprint for other formats. I like that. I want to see more of it.
Sure.
We're getting off topic.
Yeah.
Let's start with advantages. Tell me the advantages of the current setup for Hype.
We get new cards all the time.
Yep.
So Eternal players, people play Legacy and Modern and Commander.
And it's fun. It's fun. It's fun logging in to see. We were both on our phones this morning. Look at this. Look at this.
I get excited every time I see a new card. But also, I don't know if that excitement's like it was a year ago or 2 years ago, or like how it used to be when I was much more of a casual Magic player, because I guess I'm invested, and B, it's constant, absolutely constant. So there's an advantage of new cards.
All right, let's stick to advantages.
There's an advantage of new cards.
What are some other advantages?
You get to draft a new set every 2 to 3 weeks.
Sure, right.
That doesn't even sound like
Did you even have time to draft Modern Horizons?
No, I played one sealed event with a friend, and that was it.
Yeah. I think there's something to be said for it maintains the relevance of the product. Overall Magic the Gathering, because it's not, imagine if there was like a 3 or 4 month gap between any type of new product, and it's like we have this epic new set coming out in the fall, but it's been 4 months since we heard anything about Magic the Gathering.
That's literally a scale. The more relevance you put on the newer set, the less relevant to the older sets, right? Like every time you go to a GP and like you go to the prize wall, if they don't have the new set, or the new set's selling out, then you're stuck buying Amonkhet boosters or Ixalan boosters when you want your Dominaria boosters. That's a balancing act, and that can be.
Well, you shouldn't be buying boosters to get the cards that you need.
No.
You
You get them on the prize wall. You get them on the prize wall. That's not talking about singles.
Well, I'd have to go to a GP for that to happen.
But yes, again, that's another.
I'm joking.
That's another advantage though that
almighty.
has an offset of a negative on older sets too.
Yeah. Any other advantages to constant? I mean, like, if the product is good, then it's just amazing. It's
There is an advantage that you said Magic's always relevant, and we get like someone joked on Twitter recently. If Magic was so good, why is there no Magic 2? And my joke was actually there's a Magic 2 and 3 and 4.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Every month or two, we get a new set that is backwards compatible with the old set, so we don't
Right.
get stung and have to like rebuy our collections like you sometimes have with like. I guess Warhammer's a good example that we talked about earlier today, just as a joke. They release new editions, and then your old armies aren't relevant anymore.
Right.
That doesn't happen so much apart from rotation and standard. So yeah, there is an upside to that.
During the period when it went Guilds of Ravnica, Ultimate Masters, Ravnica Allegiance. I mean, come on, those are 3 winning sets, right?
Sure.
So during that period, the fact that we were in constant hype was nothing but like hook it to my veins.
But War of the Spark, even if you're not happy with how the set turned out and what it's done to other formats and stuff,
That was pretty wild hype, I'll admit
yeah,
it.
the hype leading up to it. But that feels like so long ago, but it wasn't. It was like 2 months ago.
War of the Spark is the current set.
But it doesn't feel that way, Brian. It does not feel that way.
I know.
It's crazy.
So now we're getting into disadvantages, and I think one of the biggest disadvantages.
So is that it for advantages? Are we being serious?
I think profits for the company. I mean that seriously. Like I don't want the company going out of business. So good sales for the company is good. I want the game to not go out of business because I like the game.
Perhaps we're being pessimistic though. Like I think there is. So the advantage of the game staying relevant and new and fresh is probably larger than we're giving it credit for. I just want to stop and say that because people will say like you guys are being like we did with we talked a bit like about Modern Horizons, right? The pessimism and stuff.
If there had never been a new set between now and when War of the Spark released, all anyone would be talking about is how boring War of the Spark draft is.
Sure, yeah. I think that's completely true.
The problem is War of the Spark draft is boring, and they're like a cat in a kitty litter box. They're just covering up what they've done.
Okay, so I was going to say this later in our conversation, but we're going to bring it up now. So not just the draft environment, but things like 3-mana Teferi, Narset, and new cards.
These problems exist. We're just too busy screaming about the ley lines
like
being
I
reprinted
tweeted
in
maybe
core
a
set.
week and a half ago saying, is the new card a problem? Trying to open a conversation about this in Modern and Legacy and stuff. And that mouth was like months ago, and we're not talking about it. And now the cards are coming out from Modern Horizons, that might be problems. Like Hogak, for example. There's a whole conversation about that card is an Altar of Dementia. Are those cards too good? But before we can finish having the conversation, is the new Chandra a control killer? And we're on to the next one. And I'm wondering if that's not healthy for the game, is it?
I don't think so, because it's kind of the equivalent of food that doesn't have a nutritional value but gives you a sugar rush. And so I think that it's the sort of thing where you're getting this rush, but you're not actually getting the nutrition. I think we would benefit from a bit more scrutiny at what might have been a miscalculation.
What we're putting into our mouths.
In War of the Spark. Well, I mean, War of the Spark is one of those ones where I don't want to say sounding the alarm, but I was very, very, I thought people should be a little less excited for and a little more skeptical of, and I think that a lot of my predictions and fears really did come true. I mean, not to beat my own drum here, but I really feel... I really feel that a larger conversation about what maybe we don't want to do again with War of the Spark.
We haven't had that conversation. So Uncommon Walkers, for example, is just one of those many ones.
We haven't had that conversation.
Is like still fresh to be had.
If we did a podcast called "Should Planeswalkers Be Uncommons," everybody would say you're way out of date.
Yeah, although it's happening again with M20, but the conversation is moving on. But it's such a weird place to make content.
It prevents a certain amount of criticism, and because everybody's too busy talking about the other thing, I felt a real pressure. Not getting into content creator fatigue, I guess this is, but I felt a real pressure with I have to get the War of the Spark content out now because Modern Horizons is starting, and I have to get the Modern Horizons content out now because we're going into the next set, and I can't do a thing on Modern Horizons tomorrow. I was nervous about the Booster Box game. The Booster Box game posted into core set spoilers, and I was like, no one's going to want to watch me open Modern Horizons packs because all we're talking about is core set.
Like, I've been wanting to start playing Pauper for so long,
Yeah.
right? And every time, this week, this is it. I'm going to play some Pauper, I'm going to make a gameplay video, I'm going to edit it up.
Right.
And then before I know it, I'm playing 2 new decks with the Modern Horizons cards. I still haven't played with the new Urza. I haven't played with it yet. I'm a content creator who gets to play Magic for a living. I haven't played with the new Urza yet. So when am I going to get to play some Pauper? That's the question.
Right.
So even other formats there, people keep going, Vince, when do you make your first Pauper video? I'm like, when I've stopped doing new hype cards?
Yeah.
It's tough.
What are some other disadvantages?
I think keeping up to date, as much as it's great for the content to be fresh and new for content creators, for your average player, like having to buy new cards. Like, people don't even know if they should be buying into cards because they might get banned, but that conversation's not even being had because then we're back into M20 now.
But we're not making more, are we, than we used to? We've always had 3 sets and a core set a year. It's not like there's, I guess the summer sets became irregular, like the special set.
So did we have
became
time?
a 5th
So
set.
you might know this better because you've been in the content
Yeah.
game a bit longer than I have. You know, I'm only 21, for example. But was there longer periods between sets at one point, or am I just imagining that?
You are imagining that. There was not a longer period between sets, but there was a different period of when they released the spoilers. It has always been, for a very long time now, fall set, winter set, spring set, core set in the summer. What got added
Supplemental
was,
sets.
well, the supplemental set, I mean, it depends on what you consider new. An old timer like me considers that new, but that really, like, that was not a regular thing. Modern Masters and Conspiracy started the trend of the success of this 5th special, not in standard set, and they've been having a lot of luck with that. So they're kind of, I think you could argue they're doing 1 extra set a year than they traditionally had, but they've been doing that for like half a decade now. So is that new?
So do you think it's perhaps perception?
I think, right. So
and
I
content
think
creators
that,
feel it the
they
worst.
have, I think that Wizards of the Coast, it's not that they're making more, but they have turned up the hype machine. Can you blame a corporation for doing that?
No, of course not. But then when your hype men and women, your content creators, your advertisers start feeling the pressure and feeling the burn,
Right.
they're the ones that in some ways drive the narrative, right? Like on Twitter and on social media,
Look
like
at
we're
we're doing
doing
a whole
now.
damn
We're just
podcast
moaning
about
about it in some cameras, you know?
Right.
So perhaps it's that, perhaps it's perception and how the people have to deal with it every day.
Wizards-
People are sat at
yeah.
home going, I love new cards, shut up, you old fools.
They might be. I mean,
gonna tweet them.
so I guess I'm still going to dodge moaning about us as content creators for a minute to ask this. First question, should we have fewer sets per year? Do you think we should? I mean, you're not going to argue we should eliminate the core set or the fall set or like once a year a special set like Unhinged or
No,
Modern
I'm
Masters.
probably not, no.
So you're not going to say should we have less supplemental product? Are you going to say I don't want signature spellbook? I don't want the challenger decks. I don't
Well,
want.
I don't even factor those in for the most part. But again, they are part of this.
They're part of it.
This is the
We're
sort of
gonna.
thing stuff.
I'm gonna get a preview card probably for Commander, and so are other content creators. Not you, but you know, like other content creators
Wizards,
will likely.
call me wizards. Yes, so, some people are lucky enough to get preview cards on the regular.
Yeah.
I only get them every other set, it seems. But there you
Right.
go.
I mean, if you keep getting them every other set, I'd consider yourself lucky.
Okay, well,
okay.
that's yeah. It's good.
I'm just, by the way, I'm being mean to him because I love him.
He's
Come
always mean to me.
on.
I'm in a content dungeon right now. Please
God
send help.
damn.
I'm actually changed.
Everyone's like, I'm already just picturing the letters. Like, I don't appreciate how nasty the professor is being to Vincent, who is so pleasant.
Is this foot visible on camera because of the chain to the chair? Like,
You're
there's
right,
I'm
right. We've
chained
got the
down.
chain.
I'm like, I'm jet lagged
chain.
by, and he's like, make the content.
Make the content. But okay, joking aside, I think that then the question is would you eliminate are there any products that they're putting out right now that they shouldn't be putting out?
See, I guess I probably would have said yes when like the Masters.
Or
sets
that they
were
should be
going through
putting
their
out less
weak point.
frequently. Sorry to interrupt. But
Well, is there so again, this is my naivety, and I'm asking you as a subject matter expert, and me being the young, naive 21-year-old Magic player, is there no room in the calendar to space these sets out, or even the spoiler seasons a little bit more? Is there no space?
it's not about when the sets are released, it's about when they begin previewing and hyping it.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with when it's released. It has, in all honesty, I think they're pretty maximum spaced out. I'd have to chart it out on a calendar to see if there's this like big untapped gap, but I think they're very well spaced out. The issue is this: if you don't think that they should have eliminated a product, and I don't, and I'm the product guy, I actually think products are better than they've ever been. I like signature spellbook. I like
Some of the wizards
challenger
just
decks.
fist pump. They're like, they've been set that sound
I like
bite.
the guild kits. Challenger decks. Signature spellbooks. I believe a B plus. I haven't reviewed Gideon yet. Please watch the video. But I liked. You can look at what I thought of Jace and make an educated guess. Commander Precon. I've long said it's the best Magic the Gathering. Like product. I think Magic the Gathering products may be at the best they've ever been. Like I said, going from Guilds of Ravnica into Ultimate Masters, into Ravnica Allegiance, into having Dominaria and Battle Bond, these are all things I loved. I'm a little iffy on War of the Spark and Modern Horizons.
The problem though, right? There's this burnout that we talk about, this overhype or oversaturation of hype has to come from somewhere.
Should they have started core sets? I'm interrupting you, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, perhaps I'm moaning about not getting a spoiler card, right? And what Wizards are doing are being very kind, and the reason not every content creator gets a spoiler card is because they're letting like a lot of smaller content creators have spoiler cards, right? So what they're giving is people space to show their spoilers off. Like they've got a schedule on the website showing you who's got spoilers and when, and every day there's like 5 or 10 content creators getting their spoilers shown, right? Mm-hmm. Do we think that perhaps that spacing out to give content creators their space might be one of the root causes of why we've got this prolonged and very long spoiler season?
Should today is Tuesday that we're recording this, should spoilers for 2020, which began yesterday, Monday, have waited one more week to begin? And then twice as many previews per day. So instead of 2 weeks of previews for 2020, should it have waited a week to begin?
I think, personally, from my perspective, especially as a content creator, I would much prefer that.
Yeah. So maybe.
Are you in the same boat? Do you think that'd be better? Or do you think that's just being selfish and people want to see new cards every day?
I know that I'm feeling that just as this isn't as a creator, just as a player, I really wanted to think about Modern Horizons more. I'd like to be having a conversation with my friends at the game store about modern decks.
Yeah, I just want to talk. I want to talk about modern right now, but we've had to.
Yeah.
You know.
And so I don't know. I mean, and core set's coming out real soon though. The release is in July 4th, right? Weekend.
Yeah.
My goodness, that's in a week. I might not be able. This is for real, by the way. I might not be able to get this video edited and up in time for pre-release of Core 2020 because it takes a long time to edit a video, and things are moving so fast that my video on this subject may be out of date by the time it hits, and that's part of the problem.
But is the problem because of the space given to the content creators? Or can they is there just no other way to do spoiler seasons?
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm Mr. Critical, and Planeswalker decks, I'm very happy with the setup. I like it. I think it's really good. 3 block sets, whatever they are now. You know what I mean?
Like
three standard sets plus the core, a special set that can be anything like Conspiracy to a Masters to a Modern Horizons to an Unhinged. It all fluctuates. I like that. I do. I like spell books. I like commander decks. I like challenger decks. I like what they did with the guild kits.
So all I'm hearing is perhaps we're making a mountain out of a molehill, do you think?
No, because I'm exhausted
There's
and
a legitimate
unhappy.
concern there.
I literally almost snapped at you this morning when you were asking me if I saw a spoiler, and I was like, God damn it, leave me alone.
He cracked the whip, and I was like, I'm sorry, Brian.
But I did, and people
me.
are talking. People are saying I feel like I can't get invested. Mm-hmm. People are saying I feel like it's too much. It's asking too much of me.
Sorry, so I know you've already said this, just to labour a point again. Did the core set come back and replace another set?
What they had done was they went from 3, the system was 3 standard sets in a core, and they just changed it to 4 standard sets.
I thought so, okay.
And then they went back to the core.
So again, it's not, core isn't the issue. Core isn't the reason
not the
for
issue.
This.
The issue is I think they used to not do, they've gotten very good at doing previews. They've gotten really good at it. Hats off to previews. Hats off to the people in charge of previews.
Yes.
I think they've done a real good job with it.
Hats off to the content creators that make preview videos for it all as well, because I mean that's some pretty good free advertising.
Maybe they've just gotten too good. I am tired, and it's not just because it's my job. I'm tired as a player. I can't sit and digest the new previews that are hitting now because just a couple weeks ago I was getting previews for Modern Horizons. When was Modern Horizons previews ended 2 weeks ago?
But maybe that's the way they can manage sets like that.
I didn't get to actually play the game. I think the advertising is so great that it's eclipsed the product. I want time to play Modern Horizons.
But there's no way of them really giving you that time unless they generally space things out.
Yeah. Well, again, maybe they should not be. They should be waiting at least one more week for the preview.
Here's a contrapoint that I think we need to consider. Not every set is for every person. Like Modern Horizons, we're invested to into every set, right? But there are standard players who, in theory, didn't care about Modern Horizons. In theory. And people have said that on the comment section of my video. I did a video about this on my YouTube channel.
Right. I haven't watched it because I didn't know you had a YouTube channel.
Yeah. So
I'm just kidding.
I did a video about the Chandra hype and how am I feeling burnt out. I was asking my audience, are you feeling burnt out as well?
Yeah.
And some of the responses were, I didn't care about Modern Horizons because I only play standard and a bit of
That's
Commander.
fair.
So perhaps again, that's another thing that we're taking for granted that we have to be. And the franchise players watching this probably feel the same. But some players who think they're a bit more casual than that, perhaps.
Yeah, if I don't play, Commander. I don't care about the Commander precons. If the spell books, which I like because I play all these oddball, I play Pauper and I have a cube, and the spell book is just this weird assortment of cards from throughout Magic's history. So when the spell books come out, I'm always like, ooh, what's in it? What's in it? Because maybe that'll go in my cube, maybe that'll go in my Commander, maybe that'll go in my Modern, maybe that'll go in my Pauper. You know, like there's all kinds of maybes with that, and that's fun. But if you don't play Pauper or Cube or Commander, the spell book is like, why do I want these cards? The only one I disregard entirely are the Planeswalker decks, which is my most hated. That's my nemesis in terms of products. I have my issue with those.
But they're aimed at like literally new starters, and even then they're not really.
I don't want to get into it.
But so do you think this is a good way that they can? So Modern, for example, just talking very quickly about Modern.
Yes.
Only because Modern Horizons was the Modern set. Do you think that's the way they can manage Modern by keep injecting cards into it? There's a point that is Khan busted? We don't know because here's some more cards.
No,
is Hogan busted? We don't know because here's some more
cards. I believe
they
need to be doing reprints, and I think this is. I believe that they needed to fix master sets, and I believe they did fix master sets, and then they charged more for the master sets because they fixed it, and then they said, "Screw this, we're done with master sets." And
here's the new.
Now we're gonna make a regular.
Sets.
Now we're gonna make a regular set that should be $4 a pack, and we're gonna charge $8 a pack, and we're gonna see if people buy it. And oh, they did. So welcome to Modern Horizons 2 in a year.
But here's the thing. So we're saying that
right.
There's not more sets, right? We've established there's not more sets. There's the same space of time between them, so none of that has changed. What has changed this time around is that Modern is one of the most popular formats by a large margin, right? And this is the first time ever that every set that's come out this year has injected into Modern. Because before, Battle Bond or Conspiracy or Commander only injects into Legacy, which, let's be honest, as much as I love Legacy, the player base is a lot smaller. So for the first time ever, we've had everyone get really excited about Modern. New players are like, I've opened my packs, I'm going to build one of these new archetypes from these new cards. They're all excited, and it's too late. 2020's here.
Right.
So do you reckon that might be one of the issues, that because we're injecting into Modern? Imagine if Modern Horizons was a standard set. It would be an additional standard set. That'd be even more of the where do things go? Because we would have a metagame in standard right now that hasn't adjusted or changed whatsoever, and new players and MPL players will be like trying to play these decks, and suddenly there's more cards.
In relation to pre-release and launch of 2020, when should Commander Precon spoilers start?
Perhaps it's okay for them to be closer because they aren't injecting into the Modern format everyone's still trying to get to grips with these new cards.
I think
Modern is the
pre-release. So what about my theory of 2020 pre-release? It's the weekend of July 4th. Are we going to start getting Commander 2020 spoilers July 5th, 6th, July 11th?
Yeah, within a matter of days afterwards, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So then, in relation to the Commander spoilers,
I think again, I'm going to agree with you. I think we're going to have the either themes or key artwork article before 2020 pre-release.
Okay. Wow. Before pre-release, that's too soon. That's
you don't think
soon.
so?
Well, I'm not saying that they're not going to. I'm going to say that's too much.
But I
can't start thinking about it till then. When are they going to reveal the plane of the full set as Kaldheim? You know what's great? If it turns out to be Kaldheim, I'm going to look so great. And if it's like Return to Phyrexia or Return to Lorwyn, I'm going to look like such a dumbass.
But it's coming. Kaldheim's coming, right? Like we know it's coming at some point.
Everything's coming. The end of the universe is coming. But, Return to Lorwyn is coming. Return to Kamigawa is coming. It's all coming. It's all eventually, all happening.
But to get away from the doomsday sayer Brian here, he's like, the end is nigh, the end is nigh. Though Kaldheim is like,
it will just look so
But
great.
it's been trademarked. So we know the next 3 to 4 sets, there's going to be a Kaldheim.
We don't know that. It hasn't been confirmed.
Exactly. No,
when should they tell us?
It follows the same pattern as Ixalan and Amonkhet. When those were revealed for the patent trademarks, 3 or 4 sets down the road, there they were.
Amonkhet was revealed literally the weekend
No,
of
we
Kaladesh
knew
PAX.
the name of Amonkhet and Ixalan ahead of time because of patents. We knew that.
No, patents. You're saying patents.
Yeah, patents.
Patents. Patents.
Anyway.
I thought you were just saying paintings.
No, not paintings. The names being registered as copyrights.
You were saying paintings. I was like, what is he on about? What paintings?
I'm speaking English. Meanwhile, Brian is speaking this weird dialect called
Patents.
American English.
Patents.
Yeah, patents.
Does that sound normal to you when I say
So
patents?
did you say patented technology?
Patented. Yeah.
Anyway, moving back onto the topic, Brian, before we get to
say aluminum real quick.
aluminum.
Oh, you liar. You liar.
Back on topic.
All right.
We knew those things ahead of
Liar.
time because of the copyrights that were issued
Right.
or
That's
marked.
not how you
So Kaldheim's coming. Kaldheim's coming.
Okay. Anyway, my question.
We've gone more off topic than I've ever seen. Where were we? What's the topic of the episode?
When should they tell us? When should they say Kaldheim with the logo and the artwork and the thing of the plane and everything? When should that come?
Tomorrow.
Really?
No. Like
When?
when will the next set launch after Commander then? Will that be no?
Probably October.
What will GP Vegas be? Would that be?
Vegas is in July, I think, or August. August.
So that'll be an M20 set. Maybe there is a gap there. Question mark. The amount of it's just bombardment of information. I can't retain any of it.
Right. But so some of the problem with it too is that people can that's what happened with what you were referring to Conspiracy 2. People missed the Conspiracy 2 launch. Yeah. I mean, our friends Jimmy and Josh Lee Kwai at the Command Zone literally said they were so angry they only got to draft it once because it was just on to the next thing, and so. I wonder if it's really not a case of the advertising is almost too good. I wonder if it's just like I'm saying, yeah, you know what? We should not be talking about Core 2020. We should be enjoying Modern Horizons.
Yeah, but we've already established there's no difference to what it has been in the past.
Right.
And I don't remember thinking this way when Modern Horizons 1, Modern Horizons 2, Modern Masters 1, Modern Masters 2. I remember enjoying those sets.
So
what
changed? Then what changed? There's no change in what's being put out. It's just the advertising. It has come down to they have created an atmosphere. The products are the same. The substance
No, I
is the
disagree.
same.
The products aren't the same. I still hold that when we've had master sets in the past in that gap, or even Conspiracy or whatever, no one is building new stuff or trying to play with new stuff in Modern.
Right.
I think that's very important that people haven't had a chance to play with their war cards, let alone the Modern Horizons cards. So I generally think the issue is that we're feeding it all into a set that is, into a format that's very popular.
Battle Bond didn't go into Modern.
No, exactly. So that's it wasn't as bad. I don't think Battle Bond was as bad as it is now. I remember enjoying Battle Bond. I remember playing Battle Bond. I remember playing Battle Bond in Legacy and being like, I've got space here to play some cards in Legacy. Right now, I've been making modern content. And I haven't played Legacy for a week or so. So I think the problem is that it's all going to Modern and everyone's excited to play Modern, and then before they know it, they're back to Arena playing Standard with a new
I was
M20
just
cards.
about to ask, could it be that Arena, though it's just a way to play Magic, that the insanely popular aspect of Arena and the huge emphasis on Arena is, we talk about in card design for Magic occupying design space. Is it possible that Arena is occupying mental space, attention space?
Yeah, I think so.
And that all this stuff, because they're doing events on Arena. It's an event. You earn this, earn that, do this, play this. It's Cascade Weekend, and that Arena might be occupying attention space as well.
I think so. I genuinely think so. And when Battle Bond landed or Conspiracy 1 or Conspiracy 2, people are playing a bit at their shop and then going back to Standard or Modern or whatever. Right. Where at the moment we've got Modern being injected with all sorts of cool new toys. Meanwhile, also don't forget to play Arena. Don't forget this event's on. Get your stained glass one for playing Pauper on Arena or Singleton on Arena or Cascade on Arena.
Right.
So I think perhaps, not only do we have sets that are dominating our attention online and social media, but we also have formats that we may not have ever played before. These unique formats on Arena and stuff are dominating our attention. And you only have so much mental energy to devote to these things.
Not to mention, go pre-release on Magic Online for Modern Horizons. You got to pre-release that on Magic Online. Magic Online is having its MOX event. It's.
Yep.
What's the solution then? Streamlining? Should there just be one online client with one online?
Yeah, I wish.
I mean,
I think perhaps we're complaining about it. Perhaps with time, I guess if more and more players are coming into Magic, Perhaps Magic can be many things for many players, and it's the players like ourselves that are trying to spin all those plates. Perhaps it's on us. Maybe we have to just go, like I've done. I can't play Pauper yet because I'm too busy spinning other plates. My Pauper plate is still in the dishwasher. That's a really bad analogy. But perhaps it's on us to not spin those, Pauper platters, not to spin those plates. Maybe we have to be like, you know what, I can't do X, Y, or Z. I have to cut back a bit.
Right.
But then I guess that argument would lead Wizards to making more products. Okay, here's a hypothetical.
I mean, if the products are selling, they're selling.
But if they announced another set that they'd fit in somewhere in the year, see, look at your reaction. Look at your reaction. Are we at critical mass? Could they not go any further?
I don't think they can. I think we are at critical mass. I think that what we have, we can sustain, and we need to refine, but I think this is as far as they could go.
I agree with you. I don't know if it's quite sustainable, because we've already seen them admit before people weren't buying certain packs because they couldn't.
Also,
new players. There's more players.
Keep in mind, Commander precons, they need members of R&D and play design to design those. The fifth set each year, they need members of the team to design that. Are they hiring into R&D and play design at the same percentage of the increase in output? And in this hypothetical of them having a larger output, so they're going to say, we're going to have a sixth set. Cool. So are you going to hire 10 new people in addition to what you currently have in play design in order to compensate for that? We're going to start releasing a new product. Okay, are you hiring 10 more people for this, or whatever the number equivalent percentage
of course,
is?
Yeah.
And I don't think they want to do that at all. I think they're walking around. I think they walk around the hallways and they go, all right, snaps fingers, you and her, you're on the set. All right, we're testing standard though. Yeah, and now you're also designing Battle Bond. Okay, I'm sure that's not how it is, but it is the equivalent of. Think about then how much work the same number of people are doing, and if they're doing more work and it's the same number of people, then are there more likelihood and more chances that there can be errors, there can be oversights, they can miss combos, they can and when we're looking back over the special sets, let's go backwards over just special sets. Modern Horizons, maybe I'd say jury's still out on that yet.
Yeah, but I think there's definitely clearly potential issues there.
There's issues with Modern Horizons. Ultimate Masters, only issue was the price. Before that, Masters 25, problem.
Well, you've missed out. Oh no, you haven't. Carry on. Sorry, no, ignore me. Again.
Battle Bond.
Yes.
Was Battle Bond?
I was thinking of wherever Leovold was, which was Conspiracy 2.
Leovold was Conspiracy 1, 2.
Yeah.
See, but oh God. A Battle Bond. Battle Bond was great. Well received, well sold, no problems. Masters 25, problem. For sure. Iconic Masters, problem. Commander, last year's Commander set, problem. Commander players were very disappointed in it. It was still a great product, but it was not as great as it had been. It was very, very
So you're
alarming.
saying this because of resources within the company spread thin?
I'm not saying that's why. I'm saying
potential.
Maybe this is happening if
is there
people are doing too many projects.
any other company doing a board game or card game that releases so much stuff?
Nothing compares to Magic.
So I guess
your
the closest
closest
you
thing
get
would
to
be
is video.
Hearthstone, maybe.
Sure, video games, right? Like League of Legends and Dota release.
Yeah, those. I'd say Hearthstone's your best comparison, and they don't come close to the number of products that Wizards puts out.
It'd be interesting to see how big the development teams are, but I guess we don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah, but it's an interesting point because maybe that is why we get these issues, and this is maybe why things are missed in testing. Like Leovold was a bit of a look at Leovold getting banned from Commander, for example. Baral, if we go further back, these cards that slipped through the net. And people are like, how did Smuggler's Copter ever get made? Perhaps because those people are
How did they miss the Saheeli Felidar Guardian? Well, because the people working on too many things. Although actually, Saheeli Felidar Guardian is what led to the evolution of R&D, which is actually kind of an outmoded term. There's not really an R&D. We use that in a loose sense. It's play design now, and play design was we have to fix what went wrong with this. This can't happen, and they did a great job, and it led to the best standard environment.
There's positives to be found here because even if they are making those mistakes, perhaps because of the sheer amount of content they have to make, then they have changed their methodology a little bit to
Someone
improve Magic in
commented
theory.
on Masters 25, and they're like, it was 3 people on the project, you know, and like development, not on the whole thing, not on the whole thing. 3 people only.
I was gonna say, doing all the art as well by hand,
like where it was like
just like by torchlight.
It was like 3 people in one critical section, and it was like, and I remember there were Reddit threads saying, really, for their 25th anniversary big thing, well, they only had 3 people doing this aspect of it, and it's like, well, they only got so many people down there. And so this comes to this idea, I suppose, that I'd like to touch on called oversaturation, which is when you take it all into account. You said you weren't taking in Commander, Challenger decks,
there's certain things that
kits,
absolutely fly over my head as like a more slightly
the
competitive
Dominaria board game, you know? Look up there, Archenemy, Nicol Bolas, the Explorers of Ixalan board
I keep seeing
game.
random artwork and random like set symbols I don't even
Right,
recognize because they
yeah.
came out in supplemental board games
When
that
you
I wasn't
take
aware of.
all of that and you put it all together, are we causing an oversaturation, or is it just
causing?
Well, we're all
Interesting
buying
wording.
it too. I've got it up on the shelf, don't I?
But
Wizards didn't send that to me. I bought it.
But I'm interested how well those things sell.
Well, that one sold okay, I think, but like it's hit and miss. They're finding it. Maybe the reason we have such a great lineup of products is they did so much. They threw a lot at the wall, saw what stuck. Spellbooks, Challenger decks, Commander precons, special
Perhaps
sets.
their market research is just firing a lot of product at the audience and seeing how we receive it.
So maybe at the end of the day, the conclusion is this is the greatest game in the world. The hype is justified. Out of all the products that are supplemental products, including the special summer set, so not your 3 standard sets or the core set. Actually, no. 3 including the core set. Which one, if you had to, gun to your head, pick one to be discontinued, would it be? To not be replaced. So we're culling the product line. What is the one product besides the 3 standard sets?
Is that including core set?
Yes.
I would happily take Corset out behind the shed and shoot in the back of the head to save Commander precons.
Okay, not including Corset, because there's 4 sets a year.
The answer was too easy for him. Let's make it
It
harder.
was. The answer was too easy. So not including core sets. Which one would you take out behind the
So
shed?
what have we got left? We've got Commander precons left.
Commander precons, Challenger
We've
decks.
got the summer set of
Somerset, whatever that is.
like
the yearly
Battle
Somerset,
Bond, Conspiracy,
Battle Bond,
whatever.
Conspiracy.
Challenger decks.
Challenger decks, spellbooks.
Spellbooks. See, I don't see this on the even keel though. The Commander and the Somerset bring us new stuff to play in Legacy.
Right.
They bring us new Commander.
So we're
cards
looking
to
for
play
the
now.
weakest link. That was a British
But
show.
that's what I'm saying. Those are so different to. I'll just shoot Challenger decks off in an instant. But I guess
Real Challenger decks, but that's what gets people into play standard.
yeah. Have you not noticed that I play a small amount of standard?
I was thinking you'd be capable of thinking of the greater good of the game and not just personally what Vince wants to buy for his
if we're
collection.
taking Challenger decks and just throwing that pack with Hazaret in it on the fire, I would assume that somewhere else in my new design team at Wizards R&D would find somewhere else for those reprints. So there would be a caveat, right?
Oh, my sweet summer
But
child.
if we were just gunning down Challenger and leaving
just
Hazaret not to
yeah.
be reprinted, then we'd have a problem, right? Yeah, so
Yes.
that would be my
So you
immediate...
think Challenger decks are the weakest link?
we didn't finish off our summary.
No, we didn't. There's more stuff. They did the special product, which was guild kits, but it sometimes is stuff like the Archenemy anthology or the
the
Plane Chase,
multiplayer
it's
kind of
yeah,
set in a way.
They do a special product like they do.
But
the
again,
special set.
Archenemy and Plane Chase, new cards.
Yep.
The guild kits, it's just old stuff with slightly changed looks, so I'd probably shoot that dead over Challenger,
You
perhaps.
son of a bitch.
Why? Why do you like guild kits so much? What was so?
Because they were reprints.
Ah, it's reprints, you're
They
right.
were 100% reprints.
So here we go. Here's the irony of this whole episode, is that we're both complaining about the problems with new cards.
Right.
But when presented with the idea of, do you want reprints on new cards?
We're picking new cards.
I'm picking new cards.
I'm picking reprints.
But don't forget, I'm a content creator who wants to make new decks and play with those decks, and I'm a brewer. At the very core of what I do, I brew.
Right.
So I'm like, new card, Peer and Toothy, I'll play that in Legacy.
Yeah.
Palace Jailer, I'll play that in D&T. That's the
Interesting.
bit that excites me. Meanwhile, I agree that
I'm
the
a filthy net
reprints...
decker, so just reprint the card so I can
But
just
also,
download
I
the
guess you
list
care
from
about the greater
MTG
good.
Goldfish.
But I'm there as an entertainer. I guess if I couldn't write my own new jokes, I wouldn't want to recycle other people's jokes to use a really weird analogy, I guess.
Oh, are you considering doing jokes at some point?
Yeah, that's kind of what I do.
I look forward to hearing one day.
You can tell he doesn't watch my content, does he? But that's my point. I'm entertaining with new stuff. So
Right.
new cards are important to that. But that's from my own perspective of being a content creator, I guess.
Yeah.
If I was a player trying to build my first modern deck, I would love them to reprint their Golden Tons. So, yeah. But they're never putting Golden Tons in the guild kit, and they're never putting Golden Tons in a challenge deck either.
Right.
So, again, that point's kind of moot there. But that's probably a whole different episode of this podcast.
A whole different episode. Well, for this episode, I hope very much that it has at least been thought-provoking. Do we have a final? I think the final conclusion really is the hype is justified.
Yes. And I think we should be able to manage the hype ourselves, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Which is not. This is not
perhaps
where I
as
thought this
players
episode
too.
was
Yeah,
going.
not
This
me
is not
either.
where
I'm
I thought it was
surprised.
going.
But I'm, and so we'll cut this part out. But like Wizards of the Coast is going to be very happy that we said for them that this is good, and so you'll get your preview card next set. They told me for that.
Sweet.
Yeah, and I'm going to get
I'll get my 4 draft commons again.
Right.
Yes.
and stuff. So they're really happy that we totally shilled out here. But
Anyway,
yeah, I think the hype is worth it.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
It's
definitely worth it. Buy more, consume more, please.
And keep watching my channel.